The concept of while standing punishment, I think, is probably, it gives some people trouble. So what you want to think about is this. Think about, because standing punishment is easy, right? You just, okay, I'm holding back, I block. If you've played other fighting games, this is not a difficult concept. You block thing that's not safe. Okay, cool. Hit them for that thing, you know? Not a huge deal. But the concept of while standing punishment for 3D games might confuse some people if you never played these before. But basically the way I want you to conceptualize it is like this. Standing, your character standing on the screen, is a stance. All these buttons have these effects while they're in this position. Crouching is a stance. A completely different, unique set of attacks. However, there's another stance. The act of your character going from crouching to standing is a stance. A completely different set of attacks. You might have been doing it on accident and you didn't even realize it at first. But this is, again, for lower level players, this is something that I think has given people some trouble before. Think of it as its own stance with its own unique attacks. And you can see them in your own move list too. I encourage people to just use this. See where it says back facing while rising? It's listed as while rising attacks in the move list like that. So, while rising, while standing, that's a 3D game thing. But the idea is the act of your character going from their crouch animation to the standing animation. Think of it as a stance. That you have your own unique attacks there. They all have unique speeds, unique effects, right? This one launches, right? For example, this one does not launch, but it goes into a string. It's up to you to explore your character's options. Check out the move list. But let's say now we go back to that punishment training and I'm looking at an attack that is not a standing attack. But what if I'm looking at, let's say, oh man, I hate this move. This is one of the most annoying moves in the game. Gengetsu from Paul. This Paul player, he wasn't even doing Emo Man. Wasn't even doing Demo Man. I say Emo Man like Noctis. He wasn't even doing Demo Man. He was just doing this to me over and over and over again. What do I do against it? Well, as you know, right, if you understand the properties of high, mid, and low, and what those imply with this game, and if you don't, I suggest you check out some of the other beginner videos, try to get yourself up to speed on that, is you low guard it. You also have the option of low parrying it. But when it comes to block punishment, and that's always a starting point, if characters are giving you problems, before you get to the more advanced problem solving, start with what the game gives you. Start with just blocking and taking the suggested punishes. Start there. That's the easy part. They're going to tell you the answers. So, if it's this move that's been giving me trouble all this time, man, this one Paul player, all he did was either this move or Death Fist me. I know what to do against Death Fist now, but what about this low attack? If I can even react to it. What should I do against it? Well, they're telling you the attack is minus 14. So while you could just, it's good to know, you could just kind of mess around with your character's attacks. And again, this is just a button press timing as they're getting from the crouching position to the standing. Not during the crouching position, but you let go of your input, and as they're standing, input a button. So this is her while standing left punch, her while standing 1. This is her while standing 2 punch, her while standing right punch, while standing 2. This is her while standing 4. Now note the numbers too. That while standing 4, though this is not the case for the entire cast, generally these are going to be some of your faster while standing attacks. And it's great because they occupy a lot of space. While standing 4 is a big one because that's going to be generally your character's fastest option out of the while standing position to punish attacks with. And then of course she has the while standing 3, which is a much slower while standing attack, but it has a unique quirk in that it's heavily plus on block and it puts her in the stance. All that to say, hop in training mode, mess around with your characters while standing attacks, build familiarity with them, and also build familiarity with their crouching attacks. There are some characters that have unique while crouching attacks that if you hold down and do those, those might represent some strong offensive options as well. You'll see that the more you play. But for now, let's talk about block punishment, right? Stay on point with that. The big thing is, you have to look at this game at what is giving you trouble. So, hey man, can I while standing 1 that? Yes, I can. Okay, well, since it's minus 14, I can use my 13 while standing punish, and that works. But is it the best? Well, the way you want to think about this is this. 17 damage, I'm +6, and I'm standing up again, right? So it's not bad, it's not terrible. But maybe is there something better? Let's see. Use what the game suggests for you. Recommended punishment technique? While standing 4-1. Oh, that's a decent chunk of damage, and I'm +6. Not bad. So, get in the habit of now just blocking this thing that was hitting you and punishing it appropriately. And again, sometimes the recommended one might be the quote-unquote best one, but maybe there's something about the while standing one that you might want to do or something like that, you know? That's up to you to figure out and explore with your character. But that's the idea behind punishment and block punishment from standing or while standing.